All right, Kenny Webb here with Cobra Southeast. It's Wednesday, January 29th. We are at Cash Building Supply in Jacksonville, Florida. Just completed collecting our scan data, and I just wanted to make a video to kind of walk through since it is quite a drive from Atlanta to get down here. So we started in this back area. We'll call this the East Ramp. Started in this back area, attempting to locate footings. No footings found. As you can see, most of this wall, actually all of it except for the ramp walls themselves, are CMU. The CMU is actually on top of the slab itself, and there's a change. I think a little bit of confusion may have been from this knee wall that looks like a foundation wall of sorts, or maybe a foundation footing that wall sits on top of, but it doesn't. That's actually just a poured in place section of concrete, probably added as reinforcement to the CMU and brick on the backside, but it's not monolithic, and it actually stops at the slab, and it doesn't run the full length of the wall. We'll show you where it stops, but yeah, CMU wall, concrete topper. Where we're at now, this is all ACP. Typical depth on this ACP is 2 to 3 inches. Inch and a half in some places, but overall 2 to 3 inches. This is all ACP, no concrete here. ACP at the entry area. Heavy forklift traffic, a lot of damage to this thin ACP. Right here in the center of the lot, where we believe a structure did exist at some point, you actually have an asphalt topping on top of 4 to 6 inch concrete with 6x6 welded wire mesh. 95% of this lot, the concrete is 6 inches thick with 6x6 welded wire mesh. This is where the ACP stops, and you have these what look like old foundation walls. They're 10 to 12 inches in depth and about 6 inches wide on average. And these are all over the place, but there's the wall back there again. All of this concrete, 6 inch with 6x6 welded wire mesh. 6 inch concrete. Just a continuation of the CMU wall on the backside here. We have some rails, not legit railroad tracks, but probably for some sort of cart. Nothing significant here. There is a little bit of a turn down on the outer edges where the rails sit. Looks to be 8 to 10 inches thick, but not anything significant. I'm not sure why they put this 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick ACP topper on top of this concrete. Maybe it was just in disrepair, and that's what they did to fix it up and make it rideable. But all of this is asphalt topper on top of 6 inch concrete with welded wire mesh. This entire slab, all the way down, is 6 inch slab with welded wire mesh. And I believe in here, yeah, you've got some changes. Obviously they either patched or repaired, replaced concrete, but what they put back is the same deal: 6 inch concrete, 6x6 wire mesh. Back here we got some good wall scans looking for footings of some sort, anything. There's no footings whatsoever against this retaining wall, but that curb stops right there at the bottom of the wall, and it's open. And I got some really good pictures to show you the gap where the block is sitting on top of the slab. And there is some patchwork right here, which was confusing, but there's no difference in the depth here. It's all 4 to 6 inch concrete with wire mesh. You have some sort of thickened slab, completely different concrete. You can see the river rock in it. But these slabs on average, forklifts have already covered me up here, but these are 10, 11 inches. This first one's 10 inches. with the slab in between at 6 inches with wire mesh. This is 10 to 11 inches on average. There is a couple of bars of rebar running longitudinally in these. I think there's 8 total. Every slab in between we scanned, all wire mesh. That one was coming up at 11 inches on average. This one's 10 inches, 6-inch slab, 10-inch beam, 6-inch slab, 10-inch beam, 6-inch slab, 10-inch beam, same and same. Then we have, it looks like a completely different pour, but same exact thing here. 6-inch with wire mesh. This entire back slab is 4 to 6 inches. There's a little light back here. In some places it was coming up, 3.9 inches, 4.4, and then in others it was 6 inches. So just to be clear, we're calling it 4 to 6 over here. Same here, 4 to 6 inch slab. All the way out here. We scanned that section on the west ramp. No footings, same build. As you can see, it's all CMU. And you can see the gap where they poured the bottom slab. It may go straight down, there may be a footing there, but there's not a spread footing, that's for sure. It's 6 inches all the way up to the edge right there. On this back side, this slab gets pretty thick over here. It was 8 and 9 inches in some places. But then as it comes up this hill and flattens back out, we get right back into 6-inch slab. So this is the center section where the building was supposedly. So we paid a lot of attention over here. This is all 6-inch slab. We found no beams, no footings of any sort. But I'm guessing this footprint right here is where that structure used to be. Same thing, 6-inch slab, 6-inch slab, 6-inch slab. But then you have these, looks like a foundation wall, a footing where a wall used to be, is what it looks like. These are 12 inches thick. Same thing as on the other side. 6 inches wide, 12 inches thick. And there's a clear footprint where it comes out. This ACP topper's on top of it, but it hits this corner. There's a 12-inch thick square footing on this corner where those beams kind of end. And all this slab underneath here is 6-inch concrete with wire mesh all the way down. Back over here, so there's the wall we just looked at, and if you step in right along this line, there's a small series of footings. These are about 18-inch by 24-inch, and they're 12 inches thick, and it does look like columns were bolted in at some point. And then you have transverse beams of some sort. They're 10 to 11 inches thick, and there's just this one that runs right here. And I'll map all this out and give you guys a good report on this, but it's 6-inch slab on the back side. You got this random 11-inch thickened slab, 6-inch with wire mesh here. There's another 12-inch thick footing, 18 by 24, just like that one. 6-inch slab here. It's another 12-inch thick, 18 by 24 footing. And then you have 3 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 footings total, including that one over there. But 6 in this line. This is all 6-inch slab, wire mesh. In that thickened slab area, the beam, I'm not sure what that was for. You can see where a lot of structural steel was bolted into this thing. But 12 inches on average, and it stops here. And that's it. No other footings, no grade beams. Everything we scanned is very consistent. 6-inch, 4 to 6 inch welded wire mesh. Then you've got another center partition wall here. Same thing, 6 inches wide, about 14 inches thick. I really don't think any of this is going to be usable for rebuilding. that outer wall that we picked up down there, you got columns here, and then it kind of turns. Oh, and this section right here, for some reason, we had a square here that had rebar 12 inches on center each way. That was the only rebar I saw out here, other than the beams. So again, this thing's only 12 inches thick, 6 inches wide on average. It goes all the way down. I'll show this on the overall when I map it out. You got some thinner slab over here. It's a 3.5 inches thick here, 4.5 inches thick there. See, it's pretty beat up. There's that 12-inch foundation that shoots all the way down. 5-inch slab. And this is all, just to be clear, we're out in the center of the lot. And that wall runs all the way to the very end right here. You can see how this is roughly a 12 by 18 footing. It was the same thing, 12 inches deep at the end of this wall, but it kicks that way. So looks like it picks right up where that first one is that I showed you in the beginning of this video. All this out here is just ACP 2 to 3 inches. Looks like we do have a couple of anomalies here. I'm not real sure if these are in use. It definitely doesn't look like it. Looks like it might have been bollards at some point, honestly. And then you have a utility access here that's not in use, so that's all abandoned. On the back side here, we scanned this entire hill. It was, what was that, Mark, 4 to 6 inches all the way down? On the big sloped area, way out there, it got a little thicker, and we lost the wire mesh in it. It was about 9 inches thick, but for obvious reasons, you know, you're not going to get a pitch like that and keep it perfect. So it was a little thicker in that area. The railroad tracks are the railroad tracks. We know how those are put together. And then I scanned this slab out here, and the entire thing all the way down is 8 to 9 inches thick with wire mesh. So this is actually really good thick concrete on the back side of the railroad tracks here. And that's the entire lot. We'll be putting together a report and getting those details to you. Thanks.